And we talked a lot about, the different colors you might use to kind of layer and darken to create the different areas. And again, everyone has different colors, different sets of pencils, different brands, etc. So I don't think using any specific color is as important, but if you have questions on colors, anything like that, let me know. We talked a lot about how when you're darkening or altering a color, pull my color wheel into view really quick. There's a couple ways you can go about that. So I did the red bow, but this would be applicable to any color. But you can darken and alter colors by using colors next to your main color. So like looking at red, orange, and orange in areas potentially, or for darkening, red, violet to violet can help darken. Or I can go across from the color wheel or across from my color on the color wheel. So green and red. So those are just methods for darkening.
What would be good to use like with gold?
So gold would fall in kind of the yellow, orange. So playing with violets and blue violets would be really good for darkening gold.
Oh, okay. Violet. Okay.
Browns can work too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but if anyone has color questions, let me know. I think last week I couldn't find my color wheel, and so there it was sitting close to me tonight, which is good. So apparently I'd found it. Or it found me. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little music going on for us here in the background. And then as always, volume wise, if it's too loud, too soft, feel free to let me know. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, again, if it's too loud, too quiet, or anything adjusting, I'm happy to do that. So my plan to kind of dive in today is to continue to block in the colors. Now, we talked about this last time, how some people, Phyllis, you're a good example of this. You like to finish a section completely before moving on to another section. And I know there's others of you that like to do that too. So just a reminder, you can always finish a section before moving on. I tend to like to block in and hop around a little bit more. That's just kind of my brain and how I do it. But there's multiple methods. So that's important to note, that don't feel like you have to go about it the same way as I am. The important thing, I think, is to start with lighter layers, lighter pressure, and gradually build it up. I just try to look for the value shifts. Where is it light? Where is it dark? I think it's less about going light to dark with colors. I think it's more about light to dark with pressure, personally. But some people feel differently and they want to do dark colors first or values first and then light. That's definitely something you could consider with color pencil. Options for sure. Forgot if I said this already or just thought it. You know how that goes sometimes. But I tend to scumble a lot, which is swirling my pencil around in a circular motion. But you could go directional. Any kind of movement you want to make with your pencil works. I think it's just about being consistent, or at least even pressure throughout. And I often hold my pencils kind of in my hand. I talked about this last time too, just because it's right there. I grab the different pencils and kind of hop back and forth quite often. And I know some people might not have a bunch of different colors. It depends. Like maybe you only have one red, one green, and that's okay. You can use minimal colors, but you can go back and forth between like a red and a brown, a red and a green, and hop back and forth between those two. And sometimes I'll layer like a color underneath, like this orange where it's a little bit brighter. I'll lay a little orange down first, or if you don't have an orange, you could lay a little yellow and then red down even, because that will make an orange. But each little section of the bow is almost like its own little form and has its own little series of values to look at. Depending on timing too, because color pencil can take a while, I will go back to some of these and start to blend them and refine them just so you can see what that looks like. But I'll block in for just a bit longer. Because the reality for me, like even 2 hours on a color pencil drawing might not be enough. You know, again, it just depends what you're doing, scale. And folks who put in extra time, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I think with mine, I had drawn it beforehand
Yeah.
and started. So I think I had worked about an hour on it before class last week,
Yeah.
and then worked the hour or so in class. And then I actually put probably another 3 hours in it. In
Did you?
two different studio hours, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, color pencil to me, it's time consuming, but it's worth it. I mean, the results are really, you get some really cool things. The layering is really fun. So, folks, too, just kind of let me know as far as frequency with color pencil. You know, I'm happy we can do, you know, a color pencil thing once a month. We can go every other month. And I know we've got charcoal in there as well that we'll talk about next month. So just, you know, kind of thinking about that with our medium. I know some of you use color pencils a lot more than I do, but you know, if you want to do color pencil projects all together, I'm happy to do more of those. So just throwing that out there, things to think about. And as always, remember you can test colors if you have a little piece of scrap paper. Even if you're using toned and you don't have, spare toned, you can always try mixing colors on even printer paper or something like that, just because it's more about how the colors respond to each other sometimes when it comes to testing. So that's something to think about if you need to, if you're unsure. Because sometimes it can feel challenging to, for example, use green to darken a red. And so trying that on separate paper can sometimes be helpful.
I actually tried that technique, Jennifer, using some green to darken the red,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure about the results. I'll show you when we get to the show and tell at the end, but
Okay.
it kind of made it muddy, in my opinion. It didn't really darken as much as it sort of, it just muddied the color. So maybe I just didn't do it right, but
And it could be too the particular green and the particular red because they don't always respond to each other the same way. It could always be that too.
Yeah, mixing the cool and the warms. You want
Yeah.
to stay with a warm and a warm, or a cool and a cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yes. I mean, sometimes that's the case, and just kind of depending, again, it depends how many colors you have in your set and which ones you have. And so, yeah, sometimes doing tests and just recording which ones you used can be helpful too.
mm-hmm.
And also, when I was doing it, and I did green and then I layered red, and then I had to go back over with green again to get it to actually darken.
Yes, kind of the back and forth. Exactly. Yes, going back and forth can be helpful. And again, there's multiple ways to darken too, as I've kind of been, chatting about. But, feel free to, you can even try a black or try a purple or try a brown. Those can work too. And sometimes I use a few methods to darken.
Everybody here is out of sight. They don't bark and they don't bite. They keep things loose, they keep things alive. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and right. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's And remember, you can always layer white on a color to darken, or sometimes it can be helpful to layer white first and then put a color on top of it.
And then just let a few more folks in here as we've gotten going. So if you've just joined us, welcome in. Always holler if there's any questions or specific areas you would like me to talk about. Just kind of continuing to block in and build up some value.
Did you know that true love asks for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life is giving love a guarantee to last through forever and another day? Just as time knew to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change. Just as kindness knows no shame, know through all your joy and pain, and I'll be loving you always. As the day I know I'm living, but tomorrow could make me the past, but that I mustn't fear. For I'll know deep in my mind the love of me I left behind, 'cause I'll be loving you always. Always.
Direction too, just as a reminder, can be really helpful. Too, and even as you're blocking in, starting to pull off the look of the bow, simply by kind of shading in the direction that the lines are seemingly going.
We all know sometimes life's hands in trouble can make you wish you were born in another time and space. But you can bet your lifetime's having twice its double. That God knew exactly where He wanted you to be placed. So make sure when you say you're in it, but not of it, you're not helping to make this in a place sometimes called hell. Change your words into truth and then change that truth into love. And maybe our children, grandchildren, and their great grandchildren will tell. I'll be loving you until the rainbow turns to golden sky. Loving you until the ocean covers every mountain high. Loving you until the dolphin flies in Paris, live and see. Loving you until we dream of life and life becomes a dream. And loving you until the day is night and night becomes the day. Loving you until the trees and seas just up and fly away. Loving you until the day that eight times makes and available. Loving you until the day that is the day that I know more. Loving you until the day the birds start turning right and left. And loving you until the earth just falls apart and I myself. Loving you till Mother Nature.
Remember, you can always squint your eyes too if you're not sure about a value, if it's lighter, darker. Sometimes that little trick just helps me see it a little better and blur out some of the detail. And remember, always standing back from it can be really helpful too.
I like your pin shot. I keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue. It sure looks good on you. And when you smile for the camera, I know I love you better. Hey, we'll come back to you. Hey, we'll come back to you. Then the sugar falls. You see it all repeat. It's your favorite foreign movie.
And always, as you're looking at the colors too, it's okay if they're slightly different. And we talked about last week how I held my tablet screen up to and just, the difference in color. And even if I hold my tablet up to my screen and look at it without it being on the camera, it looks different. So I really try to strive for more of the value structure. And do I like the color? Is it pretty close? If I see like an orangey color, I'll grab a little orange and kind of add it in, so you can kind of make those choices, but it's okay if it's not 100%. There is that color pencil picker website. I don't know if anyone, I'm sure some of y'all know about this already. I can put that link in the chat at the end, but that can help you too determining colors. It's not something I use, but I know folks have used it and they really like it. And if you're feeling like it's not looking dimensional yet, assess your dark values too. Because remember, pushing darks dark will make them go back in space, but it also makes your lights pop.
I see it coming, but I lost the plot.
Oh no! Which happens
Suddenly-
sometimes, right?
Suddenly my ribbons got bigger.
Maybe they could expand a little. That's okay. They do come in different sizes.
Not in the same bow usually, but
Maybe this one's custom. But I hear ya.
Folks,
Hey, how's it going?
it's going well. I just was late because I didn't have the timing right on supper.
No worries.
So yeah,
I'm glad you're here.
the recipe said it was half an hour, and it was closer to an hour.
That happens to me a lot.
Maybe next time I'll get it closer to with their timing. Well,
Now, I know that you all are not going to be able to see this, but I swear that this pencil says that it is a citrus yellow. But if that isn't a blue, I don't know what a blue is. I can't see it because I can't see it.
Kelly, sorry, could you say that again? I don't know if it was just me, might have been the music.
I said, I've got this Derwent pencil out, and it says citrus yellow, but this is a blue. It is a powder blue.
Oh, that's weird.
It cannot be that far off. And I did it on the tone paper, and well, let me find a piece of non-tone paper that I can try just to see.
Yeah, that's strange.
Oh, that is a blue. I mean, it is nothing but a blue.
Oh,
Somebody got their labeling mixed up.
Yeah, I wonder how often that happens actually with things.
Well,
no, it does happen. I know that. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I ordered a flavor of something. Can't quite remember what, and the box was labeled with that flavor, but the things inside were not that flavor.
Oh,
You
I was a
know?
graphic designer, and often there would often be misspellings, typos, and
Oh,
stuff that you
well,
wouldn't
oh,
even notice
yeah.
until it came out in print, which was always
Yep.
very embarrassing.
oh
Right.
yeah.
Montgomery
And a little
Ward
too
was
late to fix.
Montgomery Ward was kind of a fun one when I worked for Montgomery Ward.
Oh gosh, oh that's funny. Yeah.
On all the advertising.
Oh no.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Thank goodness for that, right?
I think some of you have heard this story, but I like to use advertising to not just teach about promotion management, but to teach a little bit about how careful we should be when we use words. That we use the words we mean and mean the words we use. And Maytag is in the 1980s, maybe even the late 70s, an ad for a Maytag 2000 refrigerator. And their headline was, buy the Maytag 2000 refrigerator, and if it's not running by 2000, we'll buy it back from you. So I said to my students, does anybody think that's somewhat odd? And I said, no. I said they weren't paying attention anyway, probably, but I said, no, if I buy a refrigerator, it better be working by the time I get it home. I'm not getting 16 years to get there. So get to work. And I said, particularly in promotion, so careful. Because little things that you think no one will notice, or you think is expressing what you mean, could be saying something totally different. Because that could have said, if it's not working in the year 2000, we'll buy it back.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bold thing to put on there.
Yeah.
Real confidence builder.
And I mean, you know, that was a TV ad that ran because that was the only way I had access to it.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm now using my citric yellow, which is actually blue, on my blue bow.
I mean, yeah, is it a nice blue? Do you like it?
Yes, it is. It is. It's warming up the blue, the light blue. Well, it was actually,
Okay.
of course, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
this
great.
wood.
Let's see, I might start rendering some of this other stuff. I'm getting so close to the blacking being done, so.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eye,
Heck, what's that?
something without warning, love,
What was that?
wears heavy on
Oh, sorry. No, I'm just muttering to myself.
Oh,
All right.
no, you're good. I just wanted to make sure if it was, it was something we were saying. I wanted to.
No,
I
mean,
get that though.
it was a little piece of hard plastic that somehow got stuck to my eraser.
Oh no.
And I started to, roll it between my hands to warm it up.
Yeah.
And it
Got
fell. But
it.
I did not know whence the noise had come.
Yeah.
I was a little confused with that one.
Mira, how long did Evelyn stay?
Oh, not long, just about 15 minutes,
He was
Her mom
delightful.
was coming, so it was sort of like the last thing that she was doing with her grandpa.
And Grandpa seemed really, really proud.
Oh my God, yeah. And he should be.
Yes.
He's a pretty amazing kid.
Aw.
And I love that, it's like, I don't want to go, I want to stay. It's like, yeah, but, her mom was on the way to pick her up.
Yeah, you made me watch my language.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, nerd. I think you need a pre-cuss session.
Oh, it's not like I cuss that much in there, dude.
No. It's, yeah. Oh, she was fun.
She was cute.
Mm. She says, "Oh, oh my goodness."
Aw.
Yeah, she came in at the end of our studio 2 hour.
That's
As
awesome.
we always do.
I love that so much. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
And boy, she could draw animals.
Oh, she's
Yeah, she was
good,
good.
isn't she? Yeah.
And imagination.
Mhm.
How old is she?
9.
Oh,
grade.
that's yeah. Oh, so you're so creative at that. Yeah, it's so fun
It
to
can
see what
be.
they come up with.
Yeah, I mean, she's already past the age that, what's her name, Edwards, Becky Edwards, Barbara Edwards, whatever, but drawing on the right side of the brain. Right?
Yeah.
You know, she
Betty
says most
Edwards.
kids lose this. Betty,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, most kids lose that
Hmm.
about the age of 5, when their motor skills can't keep up with their imaginations.
Yeah, that can, or sometimes for some kids, I
Mhm.
learned in my art ed program that it could sometimes happen between like 10 to 14 in the middle school range too. For some kids, they will go into more symbol making drawing.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless they were taught how to draw, or they regularly practiced it, or they naturally have
Okay.
that inclination toward it. But it could be earlier than that too. It could, I think
Yep.
could
Mhm.
be different for different.
Oh, yeah, yes, yes. It is a given that child development is a variable process for
Yeah.
every child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I have the Betty Edwards book, but I've never like read it like word for word. So
I did a long time ago just because it was fascinating.
yeah.
Not because I was interested in art really at that point, but
Really?
yeah, no, I was more into people and systems and organizations and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
which is part of that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Can be, maybe. Should be.
Yeah. It can be.
I'm not good with this eraser. It always take up more than I want.
Yeah, I definitely have been there before too.
Yeah. I have the same problem with digital erasers.
Mhm. Do you draw much digitally?
Not as much as I used to. Yeah, and now I mostly use it to study photographs for pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But, I used to try to do it a lot before there was like the the iPad with Procreate and the Apple Pencil. I used to try to use like tablets and
Yeah.
drawing tablets, and I just
Yeah.
could not make the sort of the viewing switch between writing it downwards
Uh-huh.
and looking up to see where I'm drawing.
I agree. It's really
It's
hard.
not like typing. I don't think there's any touch
I
drawing.
agree. Yep. I
Yeah.
have those actually in my digital classroom, those type of tablets
Yeah.
you're describing, and I think they
Uh-huh.
are so challenging.
Like, do you have the bamboo ones maybe?
They're Wacom tablets.
Wacom, okay. Yeah.
Wacom, or yeah. And yeah, they just have a little
Oh, those can be
stylus,
expensive,
and
yeah.
the kids are pretty good with them actually, but yeah.
That does
I
not surprise me. Yeah. Most of them are
Me?
digital native generation, I'm sure,
Yes,
and whatever
yes.
comes after that.
Exactly.
Now, when I am shaving my my whatever. Okay. Oh, I can see. Ah, there it is. Yeah, thing. It's a, is it a stem? No, it's not a stem.
So you
Honestly,
cut out when you were on my end, at
Mm.
least.
Okay.
Mm.
You see the thing that's right there on my thing? My,
Where's yours? I can't see you. Can you highlight?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
okay. Whatever this thing is,
Oh.
I'm in the
Can you
process.
highlight that, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm in the process of using
Mhm.
the
Yes.
paper
Yep. hmm
to clean it off a little. But do you need to get all of the color off, or do you just need to get most of it?
It's up to you. If you're going to use the same color again, you don't have to get all of it off. You can just do some of it if you're going to just keep blending. But if you're going to totally switch colors, you might want to get more off just because you don't want the color to blend into
Well,
another one.
That I'm going to be doing the Gale Farm, and that's going to be largely brown,
Yeah, then you probably want to.
dark gray.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll get most of this blue off.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could streak into it.
Is that your blending pencil?
No,
Or
this
the-
is
or the
this is
stump?
that's it. A blending stump.
Yeah. Well, you can sharpen it too.
Yeah,
Scrape off the.
this little
particles
thing,
off.
sheets of
Yeah.
sandpaper on it. So
Yeah, that will work.
Yeah.
That will work. It's clean sandpaper.
Yes. Yep, that works really well.
I have done it with a piece of sandpaper covered with charcoal dust,
Oh no.
and it just does not work.
No.
What can I say? But I mean,
Happens.
it was a learning opportunity yet again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Without learning opportunity.
I have lots of those.
one of the important things I learned this week was not to leave 3/4 of a ream of paper sitting right in front of the output part of my printer.
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
I've actually done that, Shelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something similar. I've had stuff get sucked. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it took me an hour to get everything cleared.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
And of course, it's not like it happens every day, and I know, and I remember what things to open up and look in.
Mhm.
So thank
Yeah,
God
it's
that-
definitely frustrating when stuff gets clogged like that. Jammed.
Okay, I think that's pretty good. A little more.
Yeah, my kind of go-to now is I just kind of go over and just push the color and really darken. I can add texture if I want to. Like on the little white, for example, there is some little bits of color, so I could even tap my pencil along that to kind of subtly bring color, or maybe use it on its side just to kind of gently pull in color if I want to do that. I do typically start to increase my pressure a little bit too. And I still will do some layering of color. It's not like it's totally finished from the blocking in.
Uh-huh. Okay, I think I'm calling this one finished.
Yay!
Yay.
Yes, I'm calling mine done as well.
Nice. We'll do sharing. We'll go like another 10 minutes and we'll start the sharing.
Jennifer,
okay.
I just looked up and I looked at your paper and I really like the gray with your red. I just looked up for the whole class.
I know a lot of times you guys are on yours. Totally.
Oh
It's
my
hard
gosh.
to.
Yeah, everyone's heads down. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good students here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
I've
I
been
love
listening
that.
to the conversations. I just haven't been looking.
Yeah,
Which
right.
is totally, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is, I think it's probably two different ways of processing, right?
Huh?
It's kind of like, I mean, we can hear the music, we can hear the conversation, we can make conversation, and yet here I am filling in, you know, values, and yeah. I think when I started this class, I had to concentrate on learning this
Sure. Yeah.
way of doing the value study. But now it's like, okay, this is my, what do I say? 3 or 4, I don't know, 4th, 5th? I can't keep track.
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye, folks. I'm gonna be gone for 3 weeks, so
Oh, bye. Well, I hope it's a good thing.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to contact you from my cruise ship, so
We'll have a
cruise.
wonderful
Oh.
time.
I'm
Where
gonna
you
try.
use it?
But I'm gonna be working on this because this is beyond me right now.
Well, you'll have
We'll
a,
keep at it.
yeah,
So I'll just keep at it. That's right.
And
have a
take
great
lots of
time.
pictures. You'll have things to paint and draw when you get back.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I could try.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I
I'll
hope you
talk
have
to
the
you.
best time.
I'll talk
Yeah.
to you sometime after April 10th.
Okay. Okay.
Sounds wonderful. Bon voyage.
Thank
good-
you.
Yeah, bon
Thank
voyage.
you. Yeah. Be well.
Yeah, me
You
too.
too. I'm jealous.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, all you people got to quit going on cruises.
Aw, no, they don't. No, they don't. We just
Oh,
got
you just see the art cruise.
Oh, there you go.
an art cruise.
Yeah. Is that a
Oh,
thing?
man.
I think so. Work on grouper with that, would you?
Yeah, wouldn't that
man.
be cool?
A grouper cruise.
It would.
Yeah.
Volunteer.
My only problem is I don't have a passport anymore.
I actually would need to get one as well. So hey, we could we could work on that if we want to.
It's going to be much harder for me. Yeah.
At
You
least
can
then
actually, you can use your birth certificate
Yeah.
without a
Yeah.
passport.
Even,
Because
even
my
if you were, like,
daughter-
going
yeah.
out of the country?
Yep, my youngest daughter, when we went on ours, they actually, you just have to get into a different line and you have your driver's license, registration, and
And you're,
birth certificate, driver's license, plenty.
Huh, no kidding.
Yeah.
and if the names don't match?
But they,
Well,
But
then you're
they-
gonna have a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, people change their names.
Yeah.
The birth certificate doesn't change.
I think
To-
probably if you had of how the name change happened,
Yeah, so I'd have to bring
usually that
paperwork.
paper with it,
Yeah.
whatever that document would be.
Right, right.
I have to tell you, my was going flying to Rhode Island with my son, and they didn't like my name.
No.
And they didn't.
Oh.
And when I produced a birth certificate and my driver's license, they still didn't like my name. So they called the manager over, and this is in Atlanta. And then they called security, and they had me pulled me over. My son thought it was great. He
Of
thought this
course.
was wonderful. But they just
Mom's
didn't.
getting arrested.
They did, yeah. They didn't believe I was Donnie Haynes.
Really?
Yep.
Had you ever had something like that happen before?
Oh, yeah. I had two MPs come to my door when I turned 18 because I didn't sign up for the draft.
No kidding.
Yep, and they were
Oh, my
armed.
gosh.
They had guns in the whole bit, and they knocked at
Oh
the
my
door.
goodness.
Yeah, boy, I bet they were embarrassed.
Huh.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I get it all the time. And in junior high, I got put in the boys' gym.
Ah. Oh dear.
You enjoy that?
Yes, some people might.
Well, no, not really. And the teacher was extremely upset. I just remember him running all over the place trying to figure out what to do with me.
Aw.
Well, I would have thought that send you to the girls' gym would have been the obvious solution, but
Well, yeah, you'd have thought, but I get it a lot. No, there's not many women out there with the name Donnie.
Right.
How about that?
You're the
I've
first.
got a cousin named Mickey,
Yeah.
last name Hickey.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my
For
God.
real?
Her parents loved her.
Oh, I love it.
that's not what it sounds like to me.
Well, it caused my brother he loved the name Victoria, but he wouldn't name any of his girls Victoria.
Yeah.
Vicky Hickey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was nice of him.
Probably one of the few nice things. Oh, no.
Mary,
My dad-
yes, they're cussing.
No, I'm not cussing. I'm just saying it's probably one of the few nice things he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, he's
But-
not all bad. Just
My paternal grandmother she named her son Richard Arlen Tapp, but then she realized that RAT spelled rat, and she didn't want him called Dickie, so she always called him Richard. She didn't like Richie either, so he became Richard. And she was the only person in the family who called my father Donald. Everybody else called him David because he was David Donald Tapp. Actually, I need to keep these out for the else. Where?
A friend of mine, when I met her, she went by Johnny. Okay, and was like, didn't think anything of it. It's just Johnny. All right, fine, yeah. And then we were at a picnic. Her sister was getting married, and it was like, we were having the picnic for I guess the reception kind of thing, just in a park. And it's like, hey, Debbie, what do you think about it? Who the heck is Debbie? It turns out that her dad wanted a boy and always called her Johnny.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, she leaned into it and went with it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, how names have changed from masculine to feminine and back. And
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
John Wayne was actually Marion something.
Right. Yeah, I think that name is still used. I don't know how popular, but still used in England.
Oh.
my father-in-law's middle name was Laverne.
Oh, my husband's uncle is Laverne.
Yeah, there's just, in some areas, when I hear it, I think woman, but I know there's a lot of men that are named it.
Well, my great aunt was named Laverne.
I had a great aunt named Honora.
Oh, that's pretty.
Like the movie.
And a Gertrude and a Loretta who was called Lottie.
My
love the
first
name Lottie.
husband, my first husband's name was Theodore, and had he been born a girl, he would have been Theodosia.
Oh,
To this day, I think, what an awful name for a child to grow up with is Theodosia.
They would have called her Teddy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah, probably.
But Theodora is much better than Theodosia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got two worse. My maternal grandfather's aunts raised him. One of them was named Narcissus Edel, and I'm not really sure what Toadie's actual name was, but they went by Nanky and Toadie.
Okay.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very country sounding, and
Mhm.
they must have been great women. They took him in. His mother had rheumatic fever after he was born.
Mm.
In theory, that's the story. And they took him in, and he just sort of never went back home.
Aw.
Mm.
We're at the top of the hour, folks, so we can start that sharing process. And I, like predicted, have a way to go, but sometimes it's kind of nice to see the stage because you can kind of see how my block-in looks versus where I start pushing it. So all of this will eventually be everywhere with the color pencil, which is typically my approach and how I do it. But again, there are multiple ways to do it. It's just my brain. I need to bop around a little bit, just how I think. But you can, of course, definitely finish individual sections at a time. I'll go ahead and turn the music off here and we can get to sharing.
Jen, did you blend that or?
So what I was doing at the very end, on top of darkening the color, this is a colorless blender. And so what it is, even if you don't use Prismacolor, you can get a Prismacolor one. They make other brands too, but it's usually you can get one for a couple bucks or find them on sale. But essentially what it is, it's colored pencil with no pigment. And so what you can do with it is burnish. Burnish is taking your color and you're kind of going over it and blending it into essentially the paper to cover up all the little specks if you want to. But you can also blend the colors together and kind of smooth it. And then when you feel it, it has kind of a waxy feel. So the colorless blender is really nice for that. And it does pick up color. So what I usually do is either sharpen it or I'll take a scrap piece of paper and just kind of color it. So that comes off, much like a paper stump does. Paper stumps work well too for blending color pencil. That's what Shelly was talking about. But you can clean them off too between colors if needed.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.